Hey, what's up, y'all? It's Steve again, Harmless Rebel. Do a record show haul. Went to the Atlanta record show today. I didn't even know that there was a record show this weekend. One of the guys on Patrick's live stream on Friday night mentioned it in the comments, so I figured I'd go. And ended up having probably getting some of the best records I've gotten at the record show in, oh my God, in a couple years. Uh, all of these actually, there's one vendor that I really like. He actually has a local store here that I haven't been to yet that I need to hit up. That I got some stuff, and pretty much everything else was from new vendors that I had never bought stuff from before. One guy had an amazing spread. He's a prog and krautrock guy, and man, he had some four, five, $600 mint, uh, super rare stuff. Really cool stuff. And then even like his common stuff, like Led Zeppelin, the stuff he had, it was all first UK pressings. I mean, insane collection. I think his is later on, but I got some cool stuff from him too. But started out with these were almost in order of what I bought them. So cool. So for the first little stall that I went to, actually, let me put these up here. The very first guy that I stopped at had killer stuff. I've been looking for a really clean OG of this for a long time for a good price. Prices have shot up for this EP. This is probably, if not my all-time favorite EP, it's in the top two or three. But Surf Nicaragua. I've got multiple pressings of this. I've got a European pressing. I didn't have a first US pressing, though. He had it priced good, and then I bundled a few things together and he gave me a really killer deal on them. Probably got like, it was already, all of these were already like 25% under what they're going for, and then he probably gave me another 20% discount on top of that. So very cool. But the Surf Nicaragua EP on Metal Blade. From him, I also got the second album from Atrophy. I've had this on CD for years and years, but I never had it on vinyl. So Socialize Hate, just killer thrash. And then the last thing I bought from him is another record I've been looking for forever. Prices of this have gotten crazy. Honestly, I would have paid the price he had it listed for, but when I bundled it, I went too low on purpose, hoping that he would give me a good deal, and he really hooked me up. But finally have a super clean copy of Cold Lake on vinyl as well. The album that everybody hated, including myself, when this came out. But man, this is one that when I went 2 years later, man, I really love the album. So Cold Lake. Next vendor. This is a guy that I've been going to for years. Every time I've sold stuff, he's bought 10 or 15 records from me. He doesn't usually bring a whole lot. He's more there to advertise his shop. He'll sell, probably a couple $1,000s worth of stuff at the record show, but it's more about, hey, come to my shop. I have 100 times this. But he ended up hooking me up on a copy of MC5, Kick Out the Jams. This is a first censored pressing, so it doesn't have the motherfucker on it. And it's signed by Wayne Kramer. However, he didn't give me the price for it signed. He hooked me up and just gave it to me for what it's going for. Super clean, near mint pressing. So I was really stoked to have this one. Next up, this was the only Smiths album that I didn't have an original pressing of, and I kicked myself because I had gold stamp promos of all of them, and I went through this phase about 10 years ago where I couldn't stand the Smiths. I don't know what it was, because it was a band that I didn't like them in the 80s when they came out. I got into them in the 90s, and then something about Morrissey. It was probably more that I didn't like Morrissey, but I ended up selling all my promo copies. And then a few years ago, I found all of them for a really good price. I think I paid like $15 each for super clean first U.S. pressings for all of them, but The Queen is Dead. So finally have an OG of The Queen is Dead again. So happy to have that one in the collection again. And that was one I wanted an original pressing. I see reissues all the time, but all the rest were OGs. I wanted that one to be an OG as well. Next up, this is one it was just a blind buy. I love private press metal from the 80s, so anytime I see something, I end up grabbing it. I'm going to do another video with some other stuff that I bought, where I bought a couple of private presses as well. This is a band called Diamond Claw, No Hate in Paradise. Looks like it's an all-female. I don't know if it's hard rock or metal, but oh, there you go, Seal Beach, California. So very cool. Let's see. I don't recognize any of the names either. So, and this is on, I can't even say, Casino Records, something like that. Blackjack Records. I think that's what it is. But if you guys know what this is, tell me what you think. I believe this is the only new record that I bought, and it's one I wish I would have saw that the bottom was crushed. I didn't see it until I got home. But it's one that I kicked myself for not grabbing. So Run Out Groove usually does direct to customer a color variant of the records that they do, and then they'll send out to the dealers the black vinyl version. This is one that I wasn't going to buy, and then when I decided I really wanted it, they had already sold out. So I've been kicking myself. There's only 2 albums from this band that I really love, and this is one of them. But this is Soul of a New Machine from Fear Factory. This is the deluxe edition that they did with remixes on the 3rd LP. So looking forward to hearing this one. Love this album. I believe this was their major label debut, if I remember correctly. And then Demanufacture is the one where they really blew up. And those are the 2 that I like. From there on, they have songs I like. I don't like any full albums of theirs after that, though. Next up, Super Soaked. So these next few were from the same seller. This is a guy, he was selling off duplicates and just stuff he doesn't listen to anymore from his personal collection. He's a hardcore prog and krautrock guy, 70s hard rock, and he had some really killer stuff. There was so much I wanted that I just couldn't afford to buy. I mean, literally, he had some $700 and $800 records in there, and they were legit good priced. Like they were like $900, $1,000 records that he had priced for $700 or $800. Everything was really well priced, and then he would work with you a little bit on top of that. Really cool guy though, from Florida, and man, he had one of the best booths that I think I have ever seen in a record show. Just quality of records. But this is one I've been looking forever. But this is Journey to the Center of the Eye from Nectar. So this is I believe this came out in 71. This is a late 71 German repress on Bellaphone. This thing is dead mint. I mean, just super, super clean. Next up, another one. This is a band that the guys at my local record store told me about 5 or 6 years ago. And anytime I see any of their stuff in really good condition, I buy it. I had never heard this one before. Some of their later stuff, like Heaven and Hell, was very hard rock, which I really dug. So we'll see how this one sounds. But this is a super duper clean copy of Jane 3. This came out in 74. This is a 74 repress on Brain. I like it's just stone mint. And he really hooked me up on this. Funny enough, another guy had this same album, the US pressing, which is not near as nice, for the same price that I paid for this like dead mint copy. So really happy about that one. And this is a band, I don't remember who started the Eloy thing. I think it was, was it LJ? Was the first one to get everybody into Eloy. And then he passed on a couple records to Greeno. And then when Greeno upgraded his copies, he passed them to Scott. Scott upgraded his copies and passed them on to me. So I think the first copy that I got from Scott had been through like 4 people. And now every time I see an Eloy album, I grab them. Just really killer prog. I can't remember. I think they're a German band, but they might be a UK band. I can't remember off the top of my head. But regardless, Actually, I'm pretty sure they're a German band, but this is Power and the Passion. I don't have this one. Super clean first pressing. Really looking forward to checking this one out. But Eloy is fantastic. Another one, the same guy. He had a bunch of Japanese stuff. One of the guys that was with me bought actually some of the stuff he had, man. One of the guys bought a super clean first pressing of the Doors for $50. It was a first stereo pressing. He had the stuff he had was insane. Anyway, he had this one for $30, so I couldn't pass it up. Done with mirrors, really super clean. Looks like it's unplayed Japanese pressing. This is one, I don't remember how we got in a discussion about this band, but he hooked me up. It was a really good price to start with. This is another 70s hard rock private press. This is the first. I think this got pressed later on a label as well, but this is the private pressing of it. But this is Messenger from '82. I think me, Patrick, and Bitbot Boom were talking about this one. I can't remember if Patrick played it or not, but I got it for a good deal, so I grabbed it. This and then the final, was it the final booth? Yeah, the final booth that we went to, I grabbed these last few. We went to a couple other booths that had some interesting stuff, but I had already spent my limit and then like $50 over. So I was done. I wasn't really seeing a whole lot that I had to buy anyway. So this last booth had some pretty good stuff too. This is I can't remember if this is the first or the second, but this is like 2013. From Blood of the Sun. This is Death Ride. Blood of the Sun is a fantastic band. You've got Henry Vasquez on drums, who is in Saint Vitus. He's been in Spirit Caravan. What else has he been in? He owns Born Late Records is it in Austin or is it in Dallas? I can't remember. But he owns Born Late Records. Really cool guy. I have a bunch of friends that have gone to see him, and I've got like 5 or 6 albums signed by him, including a couple of the Blood of the Sun albums. If you're into Saint Vitus, if you're into that doom metal, you'll like Blood of the Sun. Next up, I showed you the second Atrophy record. I also bought the third Atrophy record. Unfortunately, I didn't see that it was seam split. I was just happy to see it for a good price. But this is the third Atrophy record. And it's actually seam split on the top and the bottom and a little bit on the side, which kind of pisses me off. The vinyl's mint, though. I got a good price for it. But Violent by Nature. I've always loved this album cover as well. And I love Road Racer records. I've always loved... If you know the story between Roadrunner and the lawsuit that was going on, so they switched the name to Road Racer. For some reason, I've always loved the Road Racer stuff. I don't know why. And then the last two. So this is Picture. Are they Dutch? I want to say they're a Dutch metal band, hard rock band from the early '80s. I've got 2 of their other albums that I really like. Yeah, recorded in Holland, Hilversum, Holland, July '81. That I really like. I think I have their second and third album. They had this at a good price, and it's in mint condition. So I went ahead and grabbed that. Which one? One of these. Is it that one? I'm trying to remember. One of these that I bought is a Canadian pressing on... I thought one of them was on Bonsai Records. I don't know. I have to look. Because I'm not seeing it now. Doesn't matter. And then last but not least, this is not an old record. I really like Gillan, and I grabbed most of his stuff. I haven't heard this at all. I don't know anything about it. It's not that old. But Gillan and Glover was a new copy that I got for, I think this is like 2015 or so. 2016. So I went ahead and grabbed that as well. This was like $14-15. So really good haul. Some really killer metal. some really killer krautrock. I'm really happy with this record show. Literally, probably the best record show haul I've had, maybe ever, at the Atlanta Record Show. I've gotten some good stuff, but I mean, this is some really phenomenal stuff that I've been looking for a while. So, really happy with that. Hope everybody's good. Just wanted to share what all I got. That's it, VC. Hope everybody's good. Take care.